Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning to a special edition Steelers pre-snap. I'm Luther Dupree, joined as always by Claudio Rosano, Smokin Jim Frazier. Hope everybody's having a great day. What's going on, Claudio?
What's going on, Luth? Jim?
How you feel, Jim? You up?
Oh, yeah, thanks, Luke. Feel good.
All right, man. We got to review another game that I called. I said 20-17. Steelers would win. I was a little off, but I pretty much got the game right once again. So I don't want to talk too much. It went pretty much the way I did. I didn't call those injuries to the Steelers, but they pulled it off. The running game looks good. Jalen Warren did enough. As I told you a couple weeks ago, he would end up taking that starting spot. And in fact, he was named the starter this week. But just review the game. Jim, once again, man, you're setting a record for most wrong predictions on Steelers pre-snap. You said 40 to something the Packers would win. What happened, Jim?
Well, I tell you what, man, Pittsburgh's right in the thick of things, man. They're finding a way to win. I'm very proud of Jordan Love. I know a lot of people coming into the game not have a respect for his ability.
You're proud of those two interceptions? You're proud of those two interceptions, Jim, that he threw?
Well, he's a young quarterback. I think it's not what people do; it's how they do it. I think you have to come away impressed with his ability to continue to play in the National Football League. When you think that he can still continue to be a starter in the National Football League and get better?
He needs a lot of improvement, Jim. You know,
I'm asking about how he looked on Sunday. Don't you think he looked like a confident quarterback on Sunday?
He looked like an average quarterback. I mean,
is that confident? Is that confident?
He's average, but I mean, you want to win a Super Bowl. Okay, but when you
he threw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns
and two interceptions and two interceptions as well. Listen, Jim, you get on me for trying to stick with Kenny Pickett. I'm just saying, Jordan Love has some signs, but he looked very average.
Kenny Pickett got 6 touchdowns on the season. I mean,
Kenny Pickett has his team at 7-3.
Nobody would stick with that.
Yeah, well, listen, the team is winning with him at quarterback. So Jordan's team is losing with him at quarterback. So, it's the jury's still out on both of them, Jim. Just you could take you got to take another L on that though. On the Packers, Claudio, you weren't with us. You were out with the baseball team. What was your prediction on?
You know what? Before I go on, Luther, congratulations on your team going 2-0 yesterday. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, Jim, Jordan Love, he's average. He's not that good. He throws 300 yards. Kenny Pickett, there's always an excuse. He's young. He's got a bad coordinator. Luther, what do you call him? The doctor of spin. Doctor of spin. You know what? I'm going to say this. What do I always say? The MFL, the Mediocre Football League. And I blame coaching. I'm not going to blame the players. I blame the coach for putting a governor on all these players, 5-yard patterns, 3-yard pattern, all these innovative offensive geniuses. I think they're bad, to be honest with you. They're not allowing these players to be who they are. Jordan Love has some ability. Let him fly. Let him loose. But I didn't see the game. Obviously, I caught some on the radio, and but I really can't comment on too much of it. All I know is you can say what you want about the Steelers, period. But, and I will say it's all mediocre, but they are what they are. What are they? 7-3, winning ugly. In baseball, you can only get away with it so long. In basketball, you can get away with it so long. In football, you can get away with it until playoff time, but they're winning ugly. And hey, they're 7-3.
Hey, that's all. Hey, that's all you want to do is keep winning. They're making tweaks to the offense. Canada's back on the sideline. The offense has run better since he's been on the sideline. You can't say that, Claudio.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's the reason why, because it's the same play calling. That's what I understand. Everybody says, "Oh, he's on the sidelines," but it's the same play calling, whether he's up there on
Is
the
it more
sideline.
effective? The running
What's that?
game, the running game has been more effective. A
It is
lot of
because
things have been more
the sideline.
effective. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it's been more effective. You're going to say it hasn't been? We don't know what it is.
Well, it would be the same if he was at Jim's house. We don't know where Jim lives, but it would be the same if it was at Jim's house.
Yeah, you're right about that, Claudio. Hey, well, listen, let's start off. Jim, you got something for us? Let's start off with Jim smoking first and 10. What you got for us, Jim?
Well, Claudio, I just want to say, Claudio, the Steelers will never be 7-3. They're 6-3 right now. And Luther knew that, but he won't correct you. Listen, some of the blame got to go on Primetime Sanders. You know what I mean? I think he faked the runny nose, and he was fake like he was sick on Friday. He's doing a poor job in the second half of the season as far as coaching and leadership. You know, everything is signed. I see commercials with both of his boys. Hey, listen, Dion has to look in the mirror and accept some of the blame. I know he's always saying, well, you know, he's not playing anymore. Well, you're the head coach. And, you know, I think he should have got a job in the ACC instead of the Pac-10. I think he totally underestimated the explosiveness of the offense in the you know, in the Pac-10. And just one last thing, Lou, if you'll allow me. You know, I get a Heisman Trophy vote, and last week I put my Heisman Trophy vote in for the LSU quarterback. He kind of reminds me of Randall Cunningham. 370 yards passing, 250 yards rushing in the same game. That's my Heisman Trophy winner.
Jalen Daniels, yeah, he's a solid player. You know, no Bo Nix, no Michael Penix Jr. I thought you was going to stick in the Pac-12. Nope.
I mean, I like that. Well, not only is it a no, it's a no for the Steelers. They won't get none of those good players made from, you know, there's so many great players that's coming out of the quarterback position. But unfortunately, the Steelers and the Carolina Panthers aren't in the market for some reason.
Listen, Jim, I knew you'd find a way to say something about Bryce Young. Bryce Young still has potential. He's playing with a horrible offensive line. You know, his line is so bad, he probably asked for Shedeur Sanders' line at Colorado. That's how bad his line is, man. Stop it, Jim. You know, I'm not going to let you slander Bryce Young like this, man. He's in a bad situation. His best receiver is Adam Thielen, who got let go by Minnesota because he was past his prime. He's 33, injured. Stop, man. We're not going to do this, man. Anyway, Claudia, what do you got for us, man?
All right, my huddle up. You got to listen up now. Okay, now Luther, you're a basketball fan, basketball expert. When you think of the Pat Riley-led Los Angeles Lakers of the '80s, what was their nickname?
Showtime.
Yeah. Why?
Because it was like a movie. You went in there, you were going to see something you haven't seen before. Exciting, great play,
fast pace. Magic led the break. They would take off down the court. Correct?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And what were the Pat Riley-led Knicks of the mid '90s with Ewing, Charles Martin, and the Bangers, Mason? What were they all about?
One of my favorite teams, physicality. They were tough. You couldn't go to the hoop without getting hit. I love the Knicks. I wish more teams played like that now.
Exactly. Now, why did Pat Riley's team, the Knicks, why were they bangers and not Showtime running? And why weren't the Lakers like the Knicks?
Well, Claudio, you're talking about a Hall of Fame coach. He adjusted to what he had.
Okay.
A Hall of Fame coach, much like Tomlin. Good point.
Okay, great. Now, what I'm saying is, why am I bringing this up? Matt Canada and Tomlin, they see Kenny Pickett in practice. They see him in the games. They know what they have. Everybody wants to blame Canada about why isn't Pickett going deep? Why isn't he doing this? Why is he throwing these 3-yard patterns, 5-yard patterns, jets? Because that's what he has. He's not that good. He's not a guy. Now, if he would have done that with a Marino or a Fouts or an Elway, fine. Then you can criticize him. But in all honesty, he knows what he has. So they are adjusting. Pat Riley's considered a genius, which he is, to make the adjustment. But Canada and Tomlin, and I'm not a fan of either one. I'm just telling you, it has nothing to do with being a fan. It has to do with being honest about it. They see what they have. Pickett is not a superstar quarterback. He's not a guy who's going to go deep and open it up. Why? Because he doesn't have that ability. So they're throwing dink and dunks because that's what they have. Knicks were bangers, Lakers, Showtime. Pickett is not Showtime. He's not a banger, but he's a dink and dunk. So people have to ease up, and it's really easy to blame Canada. No, blame Pickett, but blame the people who drafted him because he was not the right guy. I've been saying that before the Steelers even drafted him. I said he's not a number 1 pick. He's maybe a number 2, for sure, a number 3. He's an okay quarterback. They start talking about Kirk Cousins and Pickett. He's not even Trent Dilfer. He's okay. He's all right. He's a nice backup. He's going to make some noise as a starter. Oh, he's young. He's Canada. He's all right, fourth quarter comebacks. You have to take the glasses off. It is what it is. He's not. Are you going to, like Jim always said, are you going to give him a $40 million contract in a couple of years? No. He was not a number 1 draft pick. They're 6-3, as Jim corrected me. That's terrific. But is your goal to make the playoffs, or do you really think, or do you want to win a championship? He's not a championship winning quarterback.
Wow, Claudio. Okay. You've been off him since he was at Pitt. One thing I can say, you haven't changed one bit. You haven't liked him for a long time, Claudio. All right. Listen. Here's my thoughts. Smokin Jim, you said that Deion Sanders might lose only 2 or 3 games, correct or incorrect? When we went over the schedule.
Correct.
Now, you talk about me being a doctor of spin or jumping ship. Listen, I told you, I was wrong too. I thought he would win 7 games. And it looks like he's only going to win 4. They should have won the Stafford game, but I'm not blaming it solely on him. I think he brought in some offensive coordinators that weren't on the same page as him. And he didn't get the horses. I mean, I know he had all that, we're coming, do you believe? And it blew up in his face. You have a kid tweeting out something about the team being selfish. He's a guy who also didn't play at all for a 4-6 team. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. It all goes to prove, and Claudio has always said it, if you don't have the horses, you're not going to win. And when you don't have the horses and you still win, you're a great coach. And that's what Claudio does. That's what great coaches like Pat Riley does, and Mike Tomlin. He doesn't have the talent he had back in 2008 or 2010, but what do? They still win. Claudio, Smokin Jim, give that man credit. We know the team is limited. This league is based on having a great quarterback. These guys are getting $100 million contracts, and he's winning with Kenny Pickett, a second-year guy. Put some credit on Mike Tomlin's name, Claudio, and Smokin Jim. They're 6-3. They have a good chance of winning 10 games again this year. Just like I called it. Give him some credit. When you don't have the players and you still could win, you have to give the credit where credit is due and put some credit on Mike Tomlin's name. All right. That being said, let's jump into this. Make sure you give us some comments. We do have some comments coming already. Let's see. We got Frank Jackson. Let's see. What's good, Luke? Hey, what's up, Frank? Frank is back in there. Love sucks. Packers need to draft another quarterback. I kind of agree with that. Jason Thomas. Coach Prime improved the team. Jim, he said Coach Prime improved the team. He tripled their win total from last year. Pretty hard to do. All right, let's jump into this real quick. Claudio, Give us your opinion. Steelers O versus the Browns D.
Well, in boxing, what do they say? Styles make fights. I don't think this is a good style for the Steelers. Cleveland has they rush the quarterback well. They're going to get him out of the pocket, which in a way might be good for Pickett, but they're good against the running game. I don't know if the Steelers obviously are going to have to run the game. Cleveland's going to want to put the ball in Kenny Pickett's hands, which is going to be bad. Steelers have to run the game, run the ball, use both Warren and Harris. And I would get Kenny Pickett some yards rushing too, but I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to dink and dunk. When you do dink and dunk, okay, that's not going to help much with Cleveland because they pressure anyway. They come in anyway. So Pickett's going to have to go deep. If Pickett's going to have to go deep, they're going to be in trouble because he's not accurate. He's not accurate mid-range, let alone deep. Okay, so I think this plays in Cleveland's hands. Everybody's talking about Pickett hasn't had any turnovers. Well, what the hell? 2, 3 yard, 5 yard patterns. You shouldn't. But today, I think a guy to look out for is Kuramora. He's going to have a big game. But Thornhill, look for him to have an interception. But I don't see the running game because I think Cleveland's going to pin their ears back. They're going to stop the run today. I don't see the Steelers getting more than 85 yards rushing today, in my opinion. Pickett may have more yards throwing than he usually has, but that might not be a good thing. They may be behind. But I just don't see. I think that this game is perfect for the Cleveland defense against the Steelers offense.
Okay. Smokin Jim, your thoughts?
Well, like you said, Luther, the Steelers don't have the talent, even though they got the highest paid defense in the history of the National Football League. So I don't know what more you want, Lou. I don't know where the no talent is. Maybe just in the coach's staff. Listen, my MVP, defensive MVP, got to be Myles Garrett. 11 sacks. He leads the league with 4 forced fumbles. He blocked the field goal. The guy's just a deer. He's an officer and a gentleman. I've never seen him, get emotional outside the box, except for when he got called the N-word and he almost killed the guy. Hey, listen. I said before the season, and Finipolo, is that his name? For the Post Gazette, Finipolo.
Okay. Fittipaldi.
Yeah.
Fittipaldi. Yes.
Yeah,
Mess up your name.
He called me up and gave me credit. He says I was against you at the beginning of the year when you said Cleveland was a very good team. He says, man, they are a dynamite team. I think Cleveland wins today. I think that their defense will dominate Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Matter of fact, I think Kenny Pickett's going to have the happiest feet you ever seen on a quarterback.
Hey, Smokin Jim, Claudio, I give the advantage to Browns D, man. They got some killers down there. I think Kenny Pickett may be feeling some pressure, running for his life back there. I keep hearing Freiermuth is back, right?
Yeah.
We got to give some credit. I mean, he's finally back. Hopefully they can get him loose a little bit. Got to get him the ball. Najee Harris has been benched. He will get some carries, but Warren is going to get the majority of the carries, like I predicted earlier on in the season. Hopefully we can get Calvin Austin the ball. Man, it seems like forever. They just do jet reverses with him, jet sweeps. Can we get him the ball down the field? We got to open it up, but I definitely give the advantage to Myles Garrett and those boys, man. That's a tough defense there. They're hungry. They got a great corner, Denzel Ward. It's going to be tough sledding. Zadarius Smith is another guy, but it all starts and it all ends with Myles Garrett. Luckily, so far, he hasn't had the big breakout games against us. I got to give Dan more credit. He's done a pretty decent job against Myles Garrett, but it only takes one. I agree with you, Jim. He looks like he should be the player of the year. TJ Watt is doing his thing, but Myles Garrett, he hasn't had one yet. I think he'll get the nod. They're both outstanding players. We probably have the two best defensive players in the whole league, in Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt. Those guys cause havoc. Hopefully they can keep Myles Garrett off of Kenny Pickett and open up enough holes to get the game going. But I agree with you guys. Browns D definitely has the advantage. All right. How about us Steelers D versus the Browns O? Start with you, Smokin Jim.
Well, I think the next Brock Purdy is DTR.
Oh boy, here we go.
I just think this guy is great.
Here we go.
You know, this is a guy that went to Randall Cunningham's high school in Las Vegas. He broke every record that there is to break at UCLA. And don't forget, UCLA had overrated Troy Aikman there at quarterback. Listen, Lou, this is a guy that's 6'2", should have been a first-round draft pick. Steelers should have him. The thing that makes him, even though he only runs a 4.5 40, I say only, but he plays like a guy that runs 4.4 4.3. That's what it's going to look like on the field. I think that, this is a guy in the National Football League. Most people, Claudio, throws the ball down the sideline. He throws the ball in the middle of the field, and you can get a lot of chunk plays that way. You can get your receivers wide open and tight end wide open. He throws over the middle of the field. Listen, I'm making a prediction. I believe that this is now DTR's team. I think that he's the next Brock Purdy. I think that you got to trade or do a deal with the Atlanta Falcons to get Deshaun Watson there. He never really wanted to be in Cleveland. I think that this is going to be a nightmare. This is where we'll remember this day. You know what I also remember, Claudio? I was at River Stadium in 1973 when Johnny Unitas got pulled from the game because the Steelers was up by about 40 points and they put a rookie in named Dan Fouts, and he almost brought them back to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers en route to a Hall of Fame career. That's what we're looking at today. We're looking at Dan Fouts in not 73, but 2023 with DTR.
Wow. Okay. Jim with a wild prediction. Wow. Okay. All right, Claudia, your thoughts. Steelers D.
Jim has some very good points there.
No,
with of Triton being overrated, but I think DTR. I think this is going to be his team moving on. I think that Cleveland's going to try to get rid of Watson and eat a lot of that contract. But I think I agree with Jim. This is going to be his team from now on. I think that the key here is Kevin Stefanski. Don't try to be cute. Use your talents. You still have a nice running game. Drum Ford at 4.3 yards a pop is pretty tough. He's pretty good. And Kareem Hunt, I think he's waiting for that breakout game. You have two backs. And Robinson can run the ball a little bit. Okay. He may not have the straight sprint speed Jim talked about, but he can run. I think that Cleveland, their goal should be, and this is the way I look at it, if Stefanski's smart, my goal is to have 180 yards plus rushing. Okay. Now, at the same time, don't throw 3-yard, 4-yard patterns. Open the field up a little bit. Go deep. You have Amari Cooper, who's 17.5 a catch. Okay, he's a deep threat. And then you have Elijah, the tight end. I forgot his name. But Elijah, the tight end for Cleveland.
Elijah Moore, the receiver. The tight end is David Njoku, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Both of those guys. Open it up a little bit. Don't just dumb the playbook down, okay? Throw Robinson in. Let's see what you got. And use the tools that you have. Now, the Steelers D, they got Minka out, they got Neal out, and they got, I think, Adams out. That's three. And Cam Hayward isn't 100%. Okay. Right. Utilize that. I mean, take advantage of that. And I think Cleveland will if Stefanski doesn't get too cute and all that. But I'm going to give the advantage, even though they have a young quarterback. They're starting him for a reason, okay? And I like him. I saw him in college.
Walker's not good. They're starting him because PJ Walker's not that good.
I think they see something in him. I don't know. I only seen Robinson in college against Pitt. I didn't see him in the pros against Baltimore. But I think I'm going to give the advantage to the Cleveland offense over the Steelers because of the 3 injuries. That's going to help, and Cam's not 100%. Okay, but I think if the play calling is right, okay, and again, use your weapons, use Ford, use Hunt, and use Robinson to run the ball, 180 yards plus. Don't forget about Cooper Moore, the other tight end, and I would also throw Jerome Ford about maybe 5 catches out of the backfield because he's not bad out of the backfield either. So utilize all those weapons, and the game is going to be one of field position. And to me, who the offensive MVP should be without question is Boswell. That guy is unbelievable.
Yeah. Hey, listen, let's jump to the comments real quick. Steelers over struggle against the Browns, according to Frank. Frank back in there. Claudio just wants run Pickett. He just wants Pickett to get knocked out again. Wow. Frank says DTR is trash. He couldn't beat out PJ Walker. Jason Thomas is back in there. Watson is going nowhere. And he's on you again. Jim is just on some goofy crap. DTR was average in college. Will get exposed today. All right, who else we got? Ralph. Hey, Ralph joined the show last week. What's up, Ralph?
What's up, Ralph?
And Jason Thomas is in here. Steelers D over Brown. Stop the BS. I kind of agree. I think the Steelers D, despite all the injuries, no Minka, no Neal, no Holcomb. A lot of guys. Kawan Alexander's out. Adams is out. So, Jim, that big defense you talked about, a lot of those guys are out. That Minka not being there for the 3rd game is really going to hurt. But I think the Browns are going to be running the ball, so we got to stack the box and make this young quarterback beat us. I don't think he'll be able to do that. He'll make a few plays, but he's young, very inexperienced, and I think we'll be able to get him. Hey, as we wrap up, let's get to the coaching advantage, and also we want to talk about our score game predictions. Claudio, who has the coaching advantage?
Steelers do. I don't trust Stefanski. Like I said, is he going to try to get cute, or is he going to do common sense and expose the holes that the Steelers have? Utilize what you have. Don't try to get cute. But I think I don't know. He against the Steelers before, when he had Chubb and the running game was working, all of a sudden he decided to throw the ball. Don't get cute. Do what you're supposed to do. But I'm going to give the advantage to the Steelers.
Okay, Smokin Jim.
Well, again, everybody's injured at this time. Cleveland got the 2 starting offensive tackles. They're not playing.
Sounds like excuses.
They're 40. No, I'm just matching what you were saying. The $46 million quarterback is out for the year. So let's not worry about the excuses on the defense. Luther. I also believe that we did not mention another weapon on Cleveland's offense, the running back that smacked that white girl. Not only can he run, but he can catch out of the backfield too. He's a mismatch.
You had to point out that she was a white girl, huh, Jim?
Yeah,
would have been different if she was a black girl, or just
He's a black man with dreadlocks. I mean, there's not
leave Kareem Hunt alone, man. That happened 10 years ago, Jim.
Only about 30 million black guys have the dreadlocks now, so it's hard to pick him out of the lineup. But I would say I would give the advantage to the Cleveland Browns coaching staff because they beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs with that same coaching staff. So it's all about what you do in the playoffs, and they did a better job in the playoffs against the Steelers at Pittsburgh.
Okay. Yeah, I give the coaching advantage to Mike Tomlin, Hall of Fame coach, what he's doing with this team this year. Very impressive. I give the coaching advantage to Mike Tomlin. All right, let's see. Jump back into these comments real quick. All We got that. Frank is back in there. Tomlin has the coaching advantage. Jason Thomas. Why Jim hate Africans so much? Jim, I guess that's addressed to you. Hey, go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Luther and Claudio. I guess Dino Tomlin didn't give Coach Tomlin much to cheer about on Thursday. Whole family was there to see him get his first career college touchdown catch, and he came up short in his last college game. So,
Jim, come on, Jim. That's terrible, man.
no, I'm just saying he didn't give me much to cheer about.
Hey, the fact that he's on the field, Jim, is a great thing. Hey, you always want to try to throw dirt. Anyway, Jim, you had to throw some slander. He played on a college field like his dad, followed his dad's footsteps at the same position. That's pretty impressive. Jim, what's your game prediction?
Game prediction is we're looking at the next Dan Fouts.
Oh, my gosh.
We're looking at the next super slinging Sammy Ball, who the Steelers passed over in 37 and went on to be one of the top 10 greatest quarterbacks of all time. So I think DTR, very mature young man. You know what I mean? And, hey, listen, I think that this is a guy that we're going to be battling against for the next 15 years.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, Jim. Okay. You like going out saying some outlandish stuff. All right, Claudio, bring some realism back, please.
He didn't give us a score, but that's okay. And I did mention Kareem Hunt and Ford and Robinson, 180 yards plus, all three of them, three-headed monster running game. I think Robinson is going to make everybody forget about Marino, Tarkenton, Bradshaw, Warren Moon, Kenny Stabler. He's going to be the greatest quarterback that we've ever seen. Okay. But I'm going to go Cleveland 22 and Boswell 19. I didn't say Steelers. Boswell. He's going to be he's going to be kicking and kicking and kicking.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the run game. Neither one of these quarterbacks, I think, are going to have great yards passing. I like Warren getting into the starting lineup. He's more versatile. He's more explosive than Najee. As I told you all year, I thought that man needed to lose about 10 pounds. He hits the hole much too slow and is not decisive back there. Cleveland's a tough defensive team, but I think we can get that young quarterback to turn the ball over at least twice. And I have the Steelers winning a low-scoring game, 17-10. All right. Let's see. Let's jump back in here. Jason Thomas, 30-16 Steelers. Wow. All right. And Frank Jackson says 27-20 Steelers. What score, Jim? Hey, Jim, they said you didn't give a score. What do you have a score prediction?
Yes, 30 to nothing.
Who?
Cleveland.
Oh my God, Jim, you just want to go winless, man. To be a professional gambler, you sure say some wild stuff on here. I know you didn't put money on that.
He's going to come to the show tomorrow with no watch, no bracelet, no nothing.
Hey, Claudio Luther, I guarantee you this: 6 touchdowns a season. Kenny Pickett will not use the N-word. I know that. I guarantee you that.
Well, he's not that type of guy, and he doesn't want it up like Mason Rudolph. Look at Rudolph running for his life with Garrett swinging that helmet, man. He could have cracked his whole head open. But we won't see Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett.
What do you mean he ain't that type of guy? You use the N-word, Lou. Are you that type of guy?
Never. Come on, Jill.
Your friends use the N-word. Maybe with the A at the end and not the hard ER.
Oh, Jill. Listen, man. You are Kenny Pickett. I think he can lead a late drive to come back against Cleveland, but I think we'll be aided by some turnovers by the young quarterback making his first start. I think we'll be able to get him. So I'm confident in my prediction, fellas, man. But it should be a great Sunday. We got the boxing authorities coming up, a great boxing match, heavyweight boxing match coming up in the future, as I call it. So it's an exciting time.
Luther called it down to the T.
Hey, we might have to hit up the Saudis. Maybe we could do one of the, maybe we'll have a better chance doing one of those boxing matches, man. I think we get a lot of following over there. We do get a lot of hits on our
Is
boxing
Jim there?
page.
Is Jim allowed in Saudi?
Jill might end up losing a hand or a tongue or something if we go over there, man.
Hey, I ain't going over there, man, because I'll be wanting to see what them girls got under their robes.
Oh yeah, Jim definitely wouldn't make it. We don't need those problems, man. Hey guys, I want to thank you all for coming through. Thank all Jason, Ralph, Frank, everybody who came through, man. Great show. Enjoy the game today. Good luck, Claudio, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.